Hey everyone, week 4, day 5. The files have been uploaded to the Google Drive. Today we are taking a look at emergency and abnormal procedures. So there's going to be two different documents that you need to read through today. Both are fairly short. One is going to be the emergency procedures from SkyWest Airlines, specifically for the OCC in certain situations for dispatchers. So that one is going to take you through, and it's going to take you through different scenarios. What scenarios constitute an emergency? What the dispatcher is supposed to do in those situations? Who he's supposed to contact? It's going to take you through a few different things. I'm going to open up that file here in just a second, and we can scroll through it. The other is going to be the NTSB, which is the National Transportation Safety Board. NTSB 830 is what this is referred to as. So NTSB 830 is a section of the FARs. It's actually part of the federal code that talks about the requirements for reporting aircraft incidents. And that's going to be something you want to become familiar with. I know there's questions about that on the ADX, and there's also potentially going to be some questions, on a quiz and the final test that have to do with the NTSB 830 information. It is only 3 pages long. It's not a lot of information. Most of it, you need to really thoroughly go through it and know the different reporting guidelines within NTSB 830. I'm going to open that up as well here in just a minute. Actually, let's first take a look at NTSB 830. So NTSB 830, like I said, it is discussing notification of aircraft incidents and accidents. And so it's going to come through here, and it's going to define what constitutes as an incident, what constitutes as an accident, and basically the different requirements, and also in how many days a report would need to be filed with the NTSB. So like it says here, this first little section here is the definitions. Aircraft accident means an occurrence associated with the operation of an aircraft which takes place between the time any person boards the aircraft with the intention of flight and all such persons have disembarked, in which any person suffers death or serious injury, in which the aircraft receives substantial damage. So it's going to go through here, and it's going to define for you what serious injury means, what substantial damage means. It's going to go through, and it has several different definitions. So it's going to go through all of these. It's going to tell you in what situations is an immediate notification required, what situations or what information needs to be given, what preservation of aircraft wreckage, mail, and cargo needs to be done, and any sort of reporting that needs to be done by either crew members or the dispatcher. So it's going to go through this. Like I said, this is really short. So just know what your obligations are as a dispatcher in any of the situations that it outlines in NTSB 830. It's pretty self-explanatory, and it's pretty straightforward as far as the definitions and what you're supposed to do. Take a look at this emergency procedures manual. So this is going to take you through different emergency procedures, such as airborne emergencies, bomb threat, hijacking, overdue aircraft, emergency incident, event, non-event notifications, emergency response, crisis management team, and the emergency response manual. So like I said, it tells you, and these procedures are specific to SkyWest Airlines, so they will vary from airline to airline, but generally speaking, most airlines have something similar to what you're going to read through here. This is, I believe, 4 or 5 pages long here. anyway, go through this and familiarize yourself with what you would need to do in any of these specific situations. And outside of that, that's pretty much all you guys are going to be really looking at today, is just reading through this material and becoming acquainted with the emergency procedures. The ones that it really kind of highlights here in the outline are, means of declaring an emergency, the required reporting of an emergency, the NTSB reporting requirements, and collections and dissemination of an overdue or missing aircraft. So that is the ones that you're going to want to focus on a little bit more and become familiar with, be able to write off to the, to write a couple of sentences about each of those specific things. As far as the security measures on the ground, security measures in the air, and FAA responsibility and services, those things we kind of go more over the security measure stuff when we are doing each individual flight plan. So that stuff will be looked at a little bit later. But for now, you're looking at everything from collections and dissemination on overdue aircraft or missing aircraft and below, and be able to identify and define what each of those 4 different things mean for a dispatcher. So if anybody has any questions, let me know as always, and other than that, that is all you have for today. So we will talk again tomorrow.